And we'll have to look at what episode and maybe go put it down in the link on the show. But we talked about this a little bit last year because I was starting to sell some properties, and I think you asked me, and people were saying, "Why are you selling properties? You want to hold properties, to have income during recession and to fight inflation." But I knew that I had a lot of commercial loans that would be coming due for refinance, and I refinanced as many as I could, took out equity, but I also needed to have a much higher cash position because I did see back in 2009 several regional banks in my area basically were not doing the refis. So they had customers who were great and they said, sorry, you got to pay off your mortgage. And then they had a hard time doing that. And I did see people having to actually pay in money to refinance because, for example, I may have gotten a property with an 80% loan. Now, when I need to refinance, they're only offering 65% LTV. So that same loan, they're going, we'll still lend to you, but we're going to lower the LTV. Or they think your property value has fallen, and so they want to maintain the original loan to value at the time of your loan. Or the DSCR doesn't work because their DSCR requirements went up. So the only way to refinance is for them to say, okay, your $1 million loan, now you only qualify for 800,000 in this market. Therefore, if you want this refi, you've got to bring 200,000 to the table. And so I sold several properties so that I did the calculation in advance. What happens if I need to refi and my LTV goes down? And I used 65%. And I used a DSCR of 1.4 when I had 1.2s and 1.25s because I had seen that happen before. So it was painful for me to have to sell some properties that really were good properties, but I knew this risk because I had been there before. And unfortunately, when it's small properties, so, I'm talking like my 20-unit apartment buildings, my 10-unit apartment buildings. I sold some 4-unit buildings to get cash in case I had to deal with those loans. But when you're dealing with large commercial loans, and I'm going to say large, $1 million plus, because that's large to some people. But I mean, we have some loans that are $40 million loans, $50 million loans. When you have that level of loan and you have to, come up with another 10% down, that's a $10 million cash infusion in order to refi some of these properties. If it's retail or office and they're not occupied, then they're going to ding the LTV based on lower occupancy than the normal standard, 10% vacancy. And that also is going to create tremendous pain. So commercial's a real risk. A lot of operators are going to have no choice but to sell, even though they are really good operators. And this is important for people to realize. You can be very experienced and very good, but when you have a very rapid shift that nobody expected with rates that have gone up so much in this real credit crunch, it hurts the good, bad, and the ugly. It hurts everybody. It just hurts those with experience and liquidity a little bit less.